The Galactic Academy's combat examination hall stretched before Anna like a cathedral of violence. Crystalline walls pulsed with bioluminescent light, casting eerie shadows across the assembled candidates. 200 species had gathered here, scaled Draxians with their triple-jointed limbs, gaseous Netheri contained in atmospheric suits, towering Korthax warriors whose exoskeletons gleamed like polished obsidian. And then there was Anna, human 5'6'1", 130 pounds of what the other species whispered was pathetically fragile death world of flesh. She stood in the preparation chamber, checking her standard-issue combat suit. The technology leveled the playing field, somewhat enhanced strength, energy shields, tactical displays, but everyone knew the truth. In raw physical capability, humans ranked near the bottom of known combat species. Their bones broke ice, their skin tore, they couldn't breathe methane or survive vacuum exposure even for seconds. "You shouldn't be here," Softskin rumbled a Korthax named Threat, his mandibles clicking with barely concealed contempt. "This exam has a 37% fatality rate. Your kind bruises from falling down." Anna didn't respond. She'd heard it all before during her 3 years at the Academy Week. Fragile, breakable, the other species couldn't understand why humans were classified as deathworlders at all. Earth's gravity was average, its atmosphere was common. Humans didn't have claws, venom, armor plating, or redundant organs. What they didn't understand was that Earth had refined something far more dangerous than any of those adaptations. The examination proctor, an ancient Draxian named Instructor Shelvek, materialized on the central platform. His scales had faded to silver with age, but his 3 eyes still burned with intensity. "Candidates," his voice resonated through translation implants. "Today you face the trial of ascension. You will enter the combat zone in randomized pairs. Survival requires reaching the extraction point while navigating hostile terrain, automated defense systems, and aggressive fauna transplanted from death worlds across the galaxy. Your suits will monitor vitals. If you fall unconscious or suffer critical injury, you will be extracted. If you die," he paused, "your families will be notified." Anna's heart hammered, but her breathing remained controlled. Beside her, Jack, the only other human in her cohort, caught her eye and nodded. They'd trained together, pushed each other, survived the Academy's discrimination together. But the pairing was random. They might not face this together. The holographic display flickered to life, showing combat pairs. Anna's designation appeared next to Threshkal. The Korthax's laughter boomed through the chamber. "Perfect. I'll carry your corpse to extraction. Human, try not to slow me down before you die." 20 minutes later, Anna and Threshkal materialized in a jungle environment. The air hung thick and humid, filled with the screams of alien predators. The extraction point pulsed on her HUD. 3 kilometers through hell. Threshkal immediately charged forward, his powerful legs propelling him through the undergrowth at speeds Anna couldn't match. Within seconds, he'd disappeared into the foliage. Anna didn't try to keep up. Instead, she stopped, closed her eyes, and listened. Her instructors had called it weakness, humanity's over-reliance on pattern recognition, their obsessive need to understand their environment, their inability to simply react with proper predatory instinct. They were wrong. Anna's mind catalogued everything. The rustling 30 meters to her left, too heavy for wind, wrong rhythm for the native fauna on her briefing file. The silence in the canopy directly ahead, predators causing prey to flee. The subtle disturbance in the undergrowth, something large had passed through recently. She moved laterally, using the terrain for cover, staying in the shadows. Her suit's enhancement let her climb, using 3-dimensional space that ground-bound species often ignored. Ahead she heard it, Threshkal's roar of challenge. Then pain. Anna reached the clearing in time to see the Korthax warrior on his back. 3 Ravager-class combat drones circling him. His exoskeleton was cracked, ichor leaking. The drones had adapted to his attack patterns, and now they were methodically dismantling him. Every instinct in a stronger species said to charge in, to meet force with force. Anna's human brain said something different. She analyzed. The drones operated on motion tracking and heat signatures. Their programming prioritized the largest threat. Threshkal was massive, aggressive, obvious. Anna was small, and humans had learned long ago how to be very, very still. She circled the clearing, moving during the drone's scan cycles, freezing when their sensors swept her direction. It took 8 minutes of patient, excruciating movement, 8 minutes of Threshkal's agonized roars, 8 minutes of every instinct screaming at her to do something. But patience was humanity's weapon. Persistence, the refusal to give up even when outmatched. She reached the first drone's blind spot, where its sensor overlap created a gap. Her combat knife, laughably primitive compared to energy weapons, slit between armored plates into the drone's processing core. 1 down. The second drone detected the threat and spun, weapons charging. But Anna was already moving, using her smaller frame to slide under its firing arc. Humans were ambush predators once, persistence hunters, Tuliazurs who couldn't win with strength alone. Her knife found the weak point. To down the third drone was smarter, keeping distance, reassessing. But Anna had already grabbed Threshkal's dropped plasma rifle. Humans had another advantage. Their hands could manipulate almost any tool. Their brains could adapt to almost any weapon system. She fired. 3 down. Threshcal stared at her, his multiple eyes wide with something new. Not contempt, fear, respect. You hunted them, like prey. Anna dragged the massive Kordax to his feet, supporting his weight despite her smaller frame. Adrenaline and determination made up for what muscle couldn't. My species didn't become apex predators because we were strong, Anna said. We became apex predators because we refused to quit, because we learned, because we're too stubborn to know when we're beaten. They reached extraction together when the results posted. Anna's performance ratings shocked the Academy. Perfect tactical assessment, maximum efficiency, 0 wasted movement. Instructor Shalvek called it the most perfectly executed examination in Academy history. Jack found her in the celebration hall later, grinning. He'd passed 2, with similar marks. They're calling us something new, he said. Not weak Deathworlders, humans, the species that turns every weakness into a weapon. Anna smiled. Let them learn. Earth hadn't produced the strongest species or the fastest or the most heavily armed. Earth had produced survivors, and in the galaxy's long history, survivors always inherited the stars.